Hello guys, I hope everybody is able to see me, hear me and see the screen properly. Can I quick can I get a quick confirmation from people online on the comment section? Can I get a quick confirmation online into the comment section? Right? So thank you very much guys for joining in. We're going to be starting out with the orientation session for FRM Level 1 November 2024 exam. Okay, we are going to start out with our batch for the upcoming exam next week. Okay, and this session I have purposely kept it online on YouTube because I wanted all the other people who are thinking to go for the November exam, they can also at least start the preparation in that particular order. Okay, and they can also have basic idea about what is this exam, how they should prepare for the exam, what should be their thought process and what should be the important points that they should focus on. Okay, so with this we're going to be starting out with the session. So first of all, when you look at FRM level 1, so there are 4 books that you have to cover. So there are 4 books. Okay, I'll just walk you through all the books and to give you an idea about what is the content in the book. And these 4 books will be covering around 62 chapters. Okay, these 4 books will be covering around 62 chapters. So book number 1, book number 2, book number 3 and book number 4. Okay, so book number 1 has a weightage of around 20%, book number 2 has a weightage of around 20%, and book number 3 around 30%. Okay, and book number 4 also around 30%. Now this is what everybody who is preparing for the exam would ideally know. Okay, so majority 60% of your questions are going to come from your book 3 and book 4. Obviously you have to focus properly on these books, but do not ignore these 2 books. Okay, a lot of people, lot of new people who start their preparation, what they do is they say that book 1 is very easy, I'll do it at the end. Don't do that, because you'll realize even though the content is very easy, it might the exam questions are not going to be very simple. They will give you scenarios, they will give you short case studies, 3-line case study, and they will test you. So my suggestion, do not ignore the book, read it properly when you're going for the exam. Okay, so overall this is the bifurcation. Now if you're preparing for the November exam, okay, so if let us assume right now it is 21st, but let us assume even if you start with your preparation from 1st of May, okay, till the 15th of November, I'm just taking a random date, exam is in a window. Okay, you have to schedule the exam, you have to book the slot, book the date, time, location, then give the exam. So the time frame that you're looking at, okay, is roughly around 5 to 6 months. Okay, 6-7 months is what you have. 6 to 7 months, depending upon, some of the people have already started their preparation. So this time frame is more than sufficient to go for the exam. So do not worry that I have less time, I will go for next year. Don't do that mistake. You have 6-7 months, which is good enough for your preparation. How should you plan your preparation? Okay, I'll be going into the books also. How should you plan your preparation? So ideally, okay, from May onwards, you should be focusing on reading or watching the video. So a lot of students who have already joined me, okay, we have given them the videos access. So it is expected that they will start their video, okay, watching the video in a particular order. And that order is basically my study tracker. So that is what now you're going to see on the screen. So I have created study tracker in such a way that it is 4 months, 5 months and 7 months. Now obviously who is going for the November exam will follow the 7 months. Now it is not like that you have to exactly complete everything in 7 months. The order of the 7 month is just a blueprint that will give you a construct of how should you plan your approach. For example, okay, like I've kept 2 chapters per week. Okay, say for example, if you look at the, I'm just zooming in, if you look at the 7-month plan, It's first chapter building block, GARP code of conduct. Okay, even if you change the order, say for example, even if you do banks in the first week and then you do it, it won't be much of a problem for the initial 5-6 weeks, but ideally follow the plan. Okay, now I have kept it in such a way that you have to cover 2 chapters per week. Even if you do this, you will be able to complete everything by September, okay, or say October mid, and still you have enough time for your revision, your preparation and everything. Okay, so do not take the pressure that the time is less. Okay, now when you follow this plan, okay, ideally the expectation is that you will start watching the video. Okay, say for example you're starting today, so you are going to watch the video of this chapter. This is building block of risk management. Okay, you'll go to the video, you'll read the textbook, that is Kaplan-Swajger book, and simultaneously, okay, you will write down in the book where is your doubt, so that when you come to live batch, okay, be physical lectures or say live online batch, what you should be very clear that what is this chapter all about, which paragraph there is a query that I have, which paragraph is tough for me. So when you attend the lecture, you are in a very confident state because you have done your preparation before that. So when you come to the lecture, it is kind of a revision for you when I'm teaching you. Okay. Next part is that when you enter the class, you are aware that what are the 5-6 questions that I'm supposed to ask. Okay. If those questions are getting addressed when I'm teaching, then it is done. It is good for you. If it is not, then you can ask the query and can get it resolved. So the purpose of the live lecture is to enhance your understanding that you have got from the video lecture. Okay. So when I'm going to teach, I'll be almost going in a similar order of preparation. Okay. So expectation is that you start going in this order, watching the video, reading the textbook and marking your doubts. Now, as you move ahead, and also you will notice that the order that I've given is not the order of the book. So if you open up book 1, book 2, book 3, I'm not following that order. I'm basically following an order which I have realized over a period of years that this order, okay, this order will give you higher chances of clearing the exam because I've kept connected chapters together. That is the view. Okay. I'll be following Kaplan-Swajger book only. See, GAR book is good material, but it is cumbersome. It is slightly big. And when you're doing the revision, you won't be able to do it properly. That is my understanding. So I will only follow the Kaplan-Swajger book. Okay. Now, when you keep on going ahead, what I've started doing is, see, by week 12, okay, I hope everybody is able to see. Week 12, I have asked, as per the schedule, I have asked the students to start revising. Okay. Whichever topics you did in the first 2 weeks, revise, read the textbook. Don't watch the video again. Read the textbook. Okay. Why am I saying don't watch the video again? Because you've seen the video, you've already attended the lecture. So ideally, you should be revising the textbook and solve the chapter wise quiz. Okay. Solve the chapter wise quiz. Okay. And that is what is ideally followed. Now, I have kept 2 chapters. You can follow 3 chapters also. Per week, 3 chapters. But follow this order. That is what I would recommend. Okay. I hope everybody is with me. All good? Okay. Now, in the same tracker, you will find 4-month and 5-month. Now, this is ideally for those students who are going for August exam, not for the November exam. November exam, 7-month broader timeline you should be keeping for your preparation. Okay. So from May to November, okay, I've shown you the Excel tracker. Okay, as a part of when you join us, we'll be giving you this Excel tracker also. If you have not received, drop a message on the WhatsApp. We'll guide you out. Okay. So from May onwards, you will start watching the video. You'll start watching the video, and roughly, okay, from say June or say mid of May, that is also okay. Okay, you can start solving. Start solving the initial chapters. Suppose you are doing 3 chapters per week. Okay, so by the time you reach the end of June, you would have already completed roughly around 18 chapters, roughly 12-15 chapters. So now ideally you should be doing what? You should be taking up the first 3-4 chapters that you have done, revise it and solve along with the new chapters that you're doing, along with the new chapters. So it should be new chapters plus the revision of the old chapters and solving of the question bank. Okay, broadly your aim should be, okay, by the end of September, okay, by the end of September you should have completed watching of videos plus chapter wise question bank. Chapter wise question bank. Okay, this is a very good timeline by the end of September. Even if it goes up to say 15th of October, do not panic, it is okay. You can still go and clear the exam. Okay, you can still go and clear the exam. So but ideally by the end of September you should be able to watch the video and do the question bank solving. If you're also coming to the live sessions, so I will be completing my portion by roughly October first week. Okay, end of September. Then from here, from September end onwards, okay, you should start with your first revision. How do you do the first revision? You will read the entire book. Say book 1, you will complete everything and you will give sectional test. I'll show you exactly what sectional test I'm talking about. Okay, once you're done with this, do your second revision. Do your second revision and solve important concept quiz. Important concept quiz. I'll show you this also. Then the third revision, okay, you should be looking at your mock exams, mock papers. And then you have the final revision. You have the final revision and you go for the exam. And when I'm saying revision, it basically means you are going to do the revision with using crash course. So we will be also helping you out with the crash course along with the full length videos. You'll be watching the crash course, you're watching the textbook, reading the textbook, and then you will solve. Okay, so that is how you should plan. So from October till November 15, ideally you have to do these 4 steps. First revision sectional test, second revision important concept quiz, third revision mock papers, and fourth revision final revision, that is, and go for the exam. That is what your strategy should be. So now when I was talking about question bank, okay, so it is over here. I hope everybody is able to see. Okay, so we have question bank. So question bank for each book. This is for book 1. Then this is for book 2. For book 3. So you will see that we have done bifurcation. You will see that we have done bifurcation for each chapter. Okay. Then you have book 4. So when I'm saying, when I was telling you by the end of September, it is expected that you will solve all the book wise, chapter wise question. That means you are completing all of these 4 book. Each chapter there is a quiz. You have to solve that. Then there is a sectional test. I hope everybody is able to see. So book 1, I've added three sectional tests. Book 2, book 3. So depending upon, I've added at least 1 sectional test is there, which you have to complete. At least 1 sectional test is what you have to complete. Okay. So this is a sectional test. Then you have the important concept quiz. I hope everybody is able to see. Now what is this? So when you open up this important concept, the introduction to option. So there are few chapters. I hope everybody is able to see. There are 4 chapters which we have combined and we have created a quiz. So you will have to read those 4 chapters together and then solve. Okay. So likewise we have created for option pricing, regression. We'll be adding more question bank also to this. Okay. Then we have created a summary notes. Now this is not available for download. It is basically available for your online reading. So it is basically summarizing the content. Okay. This is, I don't generally recommend this reading, but because you have to read the entire Swedger book properly. Okay. Then I have added few of the videos of important concepts. Okay. So that is available. Introduction to forwards, futures, types of order. So there are few videos which are available which can help you to prepare for the exam. and there are mock papers. So we can see 4 mock papers are there, which ideally it is expected that you will do the revision and do 4 mock papers. And I've added few of the GARP sample papers also that has to be done if possible, and ideally you should be doing the latest one because some of the questions in the previous GARP sample paper are repeated. So do the latest one, that is okay. Then there is one more important guidance related guidance of the exam. I had taken one session before for all the students. I've just uploaded that. So this is where how you will see the entire question bank. Okay, you will see the entire question bank, and that is how you are expected to prepare for the exam. And when I'm interacting with you also in the live session or in the physical lectures, I'll be reminding you, I'll be asking you how many chapters of question banks you have completed. Okay, because there has to be some way of checking whether you've understood or not, and that is what the question bank is actually going to help you. Okay, any query you can put it on the chat section. I'll address the query. Okay, so that's the broader view. Now the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the book, each chapter. Basically I'm going to walk you through book 1, book 2, book 3, and I'm going to give you a view what exactly is there in this book. Okay, so I'm going to open up the first book. So entire first book is more theory. Okay, so over here the name of the book is Foundation of Risk Management. Okay, over here the focus of the institute is to give you the building block. Okay, building block of what exactly is risk management, how do companies look at risk management, what are the major failures in risk management that has happened. So all of these things are ideally tested, okay, over here. So if you read the first chapter, which is building block of risk management, basic, how do you what exactly is risk, what are the ways risk are assessed, okay, all of these basic thought process. They are also giving you some basic introduction of VAR, stress testing, enterprise risk management. So all of it is going to be there. Expected loss. Next is how do firm manage financial risk. See, ideally your risk can be bifurcated into non-financial and financial. This chapter explicitly talks about when there is going to be a dollar impact to the company, how do companies take care of that. Next is governance of risk management. Basically, whether corporate governance within the company is done properly or not, because we have seen in the past Satyam case has happened where the management was not very serious about risk management and they had done huge fraud in the organization. So how do we make sure that the corporate governance is done properly, and how do risk management is actually being followed on the ground or not? So they've given you one chapter focusing on that. Then there is this chapter which is called as credit risk transfer mechanism. This is related to mortgage and mortgage-backed security and what some connection to the great financial crisis 2007 and 9. So this chapter, anatomy of great financial crisis and the MBAs, has to be done together. So when you look at my schedule, I have kept all of these 3 chapters together. When you will read these chapters, you will understand that there is a connection. Okay, so this chapter is more related to what problems we have faced during the crisis and all of that. So product related to it. This is portfolio management chapter, capital asset pricing model. There is some calculation over here, but it is not heavy calculation. It's basically formula driven. Okay, very important chapter, modern portfolio theory. And then there is an arbitrage theory. So if you have a portfolio, you have created a lot of assets and you have created a portfolio. How do you manage the risk of the portfolio? How do you calculate the returns of the portfolio? All of this is briefly touched upon in this chapter. Principles of effective risk data aggregation. These are standalone chapter. Basically, historically, what we have seen is, okay, we look at the data management within the bank was not that efficient. So Basel also came out with some principles. The regulators also came out with principles talking about what ideally a bank is supposed to do. Slightly theoretical chapter. Okay, they don't test you much on this chapter ideally. Enterprise risk management. When you go and work with any big organization right now, they have a standard structure of how the risk is going to get tracked, how the risk is going to get monitored. So they generally have an ERM team, or they have a software through which all the risk within the organization is tracked. Learning from financial disaster, an important chapter, but we'll be doing it at the end because it has a connection with VAR, with your normal distribution. So you ideally cannot pick it first. Okay, so but this chapter gives you a lot of case studies. What has happened with Barings Bank? What has happened with long-term capital management fund? So various case studies they have combined, important, generally tested in the exam. Like I said, anatomy of great financial crisis. So this chapter will give you an entire view. What was the major problem in the 2007 and 9 crisis? Okay, what are the factors, what are the lessons learned, everything. GARP code of conduct is a theoretical chapter, but the focus over here is to make you ready that uh, as a risk professional, how you should behave in the market. So that is the intention of this chapter. Again, when you read the chapter, it's more common sense, but in the exam, they will give you scenarios. They will give you small cases, and you have to take a decision whether there was a violation or not. So ideally in the exam, you expect maximum 2 or 3 questions from this chapter, which is there. So this is where we complete the first book, Foundation of Risk Management. I'll go to the next book, but before going there, I'm going to address the query. So Prerna is asking during first revision, and how many days should we complete the reading for each book? When you're doing the first revision, I think so around 4 days maximum, you should be able to complete. So book 1 you can give slightly lower time, book 3, book 4 you can give slightly higher time. So roughly 4 days. Okay, we'll be going towards book 2. Book 2 is quantitative. Now a lot of people, a lot of students are afraid that okay, there is so much calculation, but in the exam, okay, you will get 20 questions, okay, from this book, and majority of them is going to be theory, because this book is statistics. It is not quantitative, or basically it is not calculation based. In statistics, you need to understand what is a concept, okay, because in the exam they might give you everything and they might ask you what decision you will take. So the concept has to be very clear, okay, because majority of your statistical things has to be done on Excel, and in the exam you're not allowed to use Excel. So the institute is not going to test you on whether you can do some fast calculation or no. They are going to test you on your understanding. Okay, fundamentals of probability, basic probability, easy chapter. Okay, but in the exam they will test you on 2-3 concepts, 3 questions for example. So 1 or 2 questions will be easy, but the third question is going to be very tough. This is what has been the trend. The next is random variable. Okay, random variable is basically telling you that when you look at statistics, okay, this entire, so all the chapters are connected. When you're doing hypothesis testing or any analysis, you're basically trying to test on a random variable, something for which you do not have clarity. Okay, whether it will take a value, X value, Y value, what value. Okay, so for example, you're throwing a die, you don't know what is going to be the next answer. Is it going to be 1? Is it going to be 6? Is it going to be 5? So that is a random thing. So likewise, when I'm buying an asset also, I don't know what is going to be the return of that asset. Okay, it is going to be a random event. Okay, it is going to be a random event. So we are basically trying to understand what is this random variable. Okay, again, very simple chapter. If you follow the video that I've given, it's very simple chapter. Common univariate, it's important chapter, okay, from the exam perspective, because you have normal distribution. So basically over here they're trying to highlight that when you look at when you look at random variable and you try to analyze what all things can happen with that random variable, then you will find a distribution of the outcomes, and that distribution of outcome could be normal, could be t distribution, and all of that. That has been covered over here in this chapter, so not worry, it's easy. Okay, multivariate random variable, this chapter is connected to the fundamentals of probability. If you have understood that chapter, this chapter is very easy. Sample movement, from here we actually move towards the core part of statistics, where we are going to be talking about how we do forecasting. Okay, so to understand that, you will have to understand that I am not going to do any testing on the overall population. I am going to bring a small sample from the population and I will do testing on that, and from that sample I'll make assessment about the population, because every time population analysis is not possible because you do not have the time, your energy, or sometimes assessment of the population is not possible only. Okay, so this chapter gives you the idea that why are we looking at sample, what are the main parts of the sample, how you do analysis of sample, and from here we do the hypothesis testing. Hypothesis testing has a lot of practical application. So in pharma companies, in companies, banks, everywhere that it is used, because you have an idea that this is going to be this population has some feature, you are going to verify that. So you do statistical analysis, which is hypothesis testing. Similarly with linear regression, this is generally done on Excel. So when I'm going to do this chapter, I'll be covering walking you through the Excel also, but for the exam, Excel is not important. They are not going to test you on that. You should know what is happening, what is the output when you do regression, and what does each of the output means. Same, these three chapters are regression related, where they are basically telling you why do we do a regression. If I'm going to use one independent variable, what is going to be the process? Two multiple independent variable, what is going to be the process? Then what are the problems with regression? That is also being covered over here. Okay. Next, we are moving towards time series data. So suppose if I take the sales of Coca-Cola, everyday sales, that's a time series data. Can I use this time series data to do prediction of what is going to be the sales tomorrow, what is going to be the sale next month, same date? Likewise. So over here, these two chapters are telling you where the prediction is possible. When you have stationary time series, prediction is easily possible. So you have models which you can use, and non-stationary time series where it is not possible. How do you tackle that? These two chapters are standalone chapter, basically giving you the brief. When you do models for bank, you have to analyze your volatility. Okay, you have to do Monte Carlo simulation model. So they've given you introduction, broader introduction related to it. And then basically they have added two chapters in the previous year, which talks about machine learning models and methods. Again, very basic information they have given you. They're not expecting you to be an expert in machine learning. They're giving you the idea, broader idea of what is happening, so that when you go and work in a bank, you should have some basic information. So this is where we complete the entire book 2. I'm going to take a pause, answer the query. So Pawan answering, is Swayzer 2023 books good to go? Yes, ideally you can use it. There may be some minor changes, one paragraph being added and all. So you can cross check with the 2024 latest book for somebody else and you can go ahead. It's not a major problem. Okay. I am ultra weak. Ram is answering, I am ultra weak in mathematics and statistics. I got 45 marks in BCom. How do we go? See, my dear friend, it is, you do not need to be an expert in mathematics and statistics. You just need to understand what is happening in the book. The chapters that are there, you just need to be clear on that. Okay, because I've seen students and I have interviews of those students up there on YouTube channel. They have completed 12th standard without any background of statistics, and the first year without any job experience, without any going to any bank, investment bank, they have been able to clear in the first attempt. They were also equally afraid when they started out, but they have been able to do it. You will also be able to do it. Okay, FRM exam is not tough if you do it properly with a proper plan, proper strategy, and consistent effort. You will be able to clear the exam, and I've seen that happening for a lot of students, bankers also. Okay, let us go to the third book. I have answered the queries. Okay, let us go to the third book. So third book is Financial Markets and Product. Now what is happening over here in this book, the intention of the institute is to give you a brief about different financial products, okay, which are widely used by the investment banks. Okay, and also some part they are also doing the valuation of forwards and futures. So first three chapters, bank, insurance, fund management. Now these three chapters were added basically because previously we were directly jumping to derivatives. So obviously the institute might have realized that there should be some basic information that should be given to the students at level 1, and that's why they're telling you how a bank operates, what does insurance companies do, what is pension companies, pension funds, how do hedge, what are hedge funds, what are mutual funds. So they have given you some brief in the first three chapters, standalone chapter. Okay, now from here you basically enter into derivatives. Okay, derivatives like futures, forward, options, swaps. Okay, so in this case you're talking about introduction to derivatives, and you're talking about exchange and OTC market. Now a lot of students who are first time looking going for these international exams, they would realize that the exchange is what they know, but OTC is not aware to a lot of students. OTC market is where organizations, okay, say for example Asian Paint going and doing a transaction with HSBC Bank. Okay, so organizations do transaction. It's an over-the-counter transaction between only both of the parties. Okay, and the transactions are very big. It is the maturity of the transaction is generally very high. Okay, which basically means the transaction might be for 10 years, 15 years, like that. So this chapter gives you the overview. Okay, what is an exchange market and what is an OTC market. Then you also have central clearing, because you have clearing house, also called as CCP. Okay, central counterparty. So these entities, they help you to reduce the risk of the market, and that risk is basically been explained over here. What are they doing? What are the risks that they're managing? Easy concept, not to worry much about. From here, look at this. We are talking about forwards and future. Okay, how does the future market works? Okay, how futures are used by companies to hedge their risk. Okay, how do you do the valuation of the futures and forward? What are the approaches? So all of this is covered. Very easy chapter. I'll tell you, very easy chapter. But majority of the calculation that you will see from the in the FRM exam will come from these chapters. Okay, especially this chapter, rising financial forwards and futures and commodity forwards and futures. Okay. Next, the same, they talked about futures as a product, futures and forwards. Now they're going to move towards your options. I think so I missed one chapter, foreign exchange. So over here they're talking also about FX market. Again, giving a brief about FX. In the entire curriculum of level 1, only this chapter explicitly talks about FX. Nothing, nowhere else there is a reference. Any query, guys, you can put it on the chat. I'll answer the query. Okay. So Pooja, you have already started watching videos where calculator is needed. Do we have to get it before the course starts? See, ideally, the earlier you get the calculator, it is better. If you do not have that options easily available, you can also download the app on your phone. Go to Google Play Store, type CFA calculator, you'll get the same calculator. You can use it for temporary basis, but always better to have the calculator in hand when the course starts so that you are comfortable with it. Okay. So we were talking about the next section, options. So over here we are going to be talking about basics of option. How does the pricing of the option happens? What are the factors that are going to impact the pricing? What variety of options that are available? What variety of strategies we use in the market, traders use in the market to take position? So that has been explained. A variety exotic options. Apart from the standard options, normal, call and put, what variety of options that are available in the market? Okay. And those options, a brief introduction has been given. Very easy topic, do not worry. Next, properties of interest rate. Now this chapter I generally ask students to complete it along with bond valuation, okay, which is in book 4, okay, because it has some component of interest rate, duration, convexity, which is connected to bond valuation. Corporate bond, this is an introductory part. That means what is exactly bond, okay, what different types of bond available, okay, what is the risk involved when you buy a bond. All of this is basically covered in this chapter. MBS. So if you remember in book 1, there were 2 chapters, anatomy of great financial crisis and the credit risk transfer mechanism. Those chapter has to be done only when you are completing with this chapter, because this chapter is a base. This will give you what is this MBS product. What is this MBS product? Okay. Rukmani, answering to your query, yes, it is CFA calculator. That's correct. It is similar to Texas Instrument BA2 plus. Okay. Interest rate futures. Now this chapter has some combination of futures and some combination of bond. So generally I also do what, when I'm teaching you, I'll be covering bond valuation, and with that bond valuation I'll be covering this chapter, which is interest rate futures, and I'll also be covering this chapter, properties of interest rate. Properties of interest rate. Okay. Both are somewhere connected to bond valuation, hence. Then there is one more chapter called swaps. So like we said, futures, options, we also have swap as a derivative. Okay, so this chapter explicitly talks about the overall what is swap, how do you value swaps. Valuation of swap can be asked in your exam. So when I'm saying you will find calculation out of 100, roughly 30 question is what you will get calculation. Okay, and out of that 50% is going to be coming from this book itself. Okay, you have swaps, futures valuation, forward valuation, FX, everywhere the calculation could be done. Okay, but now when I'm saying calculation, okay, if you have a calculator in hand, because your Texas Instrument BA2 plus calculator has everything in it, you just need to know how to use the calculator. And the moment you start solving 5-6 questions, you'll become comfortable with it. So it's not a big task. Okay. So with this, we have completed the 3rd book. Any queries, guys, till now? Okay, I'm going to move towards the book 4. Now book 4, the name is, for book 4, the name is valuation and risk model. Okay, valuation and risk model. Now if you read the name, valuation models are nothing but bond valuation, risk models are nothing but VAR related calculations and all. So first 3 chapter, okay, which is measure of financial risk, calculating and applying VAR, and measuring and monitoring. These all of these three chapters are connected to your VAR calculation. Okay, so ideally you should be doing it only when you're done with book 2 entirely. Okay, you have done some amount of calculation, then you should come to this. So ideally I'll be doing it at the end. Okay, important chapters, especially the first chapter is important, and this 49 chapter is important. Next, this is a standalone chapter, basically telling you what is external rating. We have heard about Moody's, S&P, what they are doing, how they are assessing the credit ratings, how they are calculating, how important is credit rating. All of this is being discussed in this chapter, external and internal. Okay, then this country risk is again a single chapter of talking about credit risk, because if suppose I am going to buy a bond of Sri Lankan government, if tomorrow Sri Lankan government defaults, I am going to face a loss, because I'll not get the interest coupon on time, or there is a very high chance that I might lose the principal amount also. So how do you manage that credit country specific risk when I'm dealing with a particular country? It can be buying a bond in that country or having a business in that country, that is going to impact you. Measuring credit risk, slightly standalone. Okay, over here they are talking about how do we calculate expected loss, unexpected loss. This is tested in the exam. The formulas are tested in the exam actually. Expected, unexpected loss. Okay, easy chapter, but some part is slightly tricky, but overall the chapter is easy. Operational risk, why do we need to hear about this? Because when you go to level 2, okay, level 2, you will have market risk, credit risk, operation risk, liquidity risk, investment risk chapters bifurcated. So in level 1, they've just given you the introduction that what is this risk that the bank face. They're giving you the overview, because in level 2 it's pure detail. There are 25 chapters in level 2 explicitly focusing on operation risk. Okay, stress testing. So a lot of these banks, they basically do a stress testing with respect to, suppose if the interest rate goes up, what is going to be the impact to my portfolio? Suppose if interest rate goes down by 2%, what is going to be the impact if FX rate changes? Okay, if GDP of a country goes down, I as a bank, my business will get impacted, my portfolio will get impacted. How do I assess that? That is basically stress testing. From here, we are going to start with fixed income valuation, which is nothing but bond valuation. So the entire chapter, all of this, over here, there is very less theory, more about how do you use calculator. Okay, so interest rate, bond yield and return calculation, all of these, duration, convexity, they are related to bond valuation. Basically, if you look at the first 3 chapter till these first 3 chapter, they are basically doing the valuation of bond. Okay, but the next 2 chapters, these 2, they are basically telling you, I already have a bond portfolio. How do I protect that bond? How do I hedge? That is what the chapter explicitly focuses on. Okay, the last 3 chapters talks about option valuation. So ideally, see, when you are reading book 3, there is a concept of options. Okay, now what is the option, and I'll call, put option, long call, short, and all of that. Over here, they're telling you how do we calculate the price of the option. Okay, so they have Black-Scholes model, which is widely used in the market. Then you have binomial tree method. These 2 chapters will help you to do the valuation. The last chapter, we talked about Black-Scholes, and the last chapter, option Greeks. The option Greeks chapter tells you, if suppose we realize that option price is going to get impacted because of the underlying asset. If the underlying asset moves, how much the option price is going to change? That is being discussed in the option Greek chapter. That means there are certain factors which are going to impact the option price. If those factors go up and down, how much the price is going to get impacted. Okay, so this is where we complete the book 4. All the 4 books, I have given you a brief overview. Okay, any queries, guys, till this point? Any queries? I hope everybody is with me. क्या सबको मेरी आवाज सुनाई दे रही है? And are we ready for the November exam? Okay, now the lectures are going to be on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is a broader time. Initially, the timings will be can be smaller also. Okay, like for example, I might start at 6 o'clock or I might start at 5 o'clock. Okay, but the broader time is 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is India time. Huh? Now, right now, what I've done is I have weekends the lecture are there, but first and third Saturday, I have not kept the lectures as of now. Okay, so there is no lecture on first and third Saturday, but rest all the weekends, the fifth Saturday and Sunday also, the lectures are there. Okay, now why I have done this? Because a lot of bankers, they are not having any holiday. So to accommodate them, we have kept this as a flow. Okay, the moment there is a declaration that bankers will be getting holidays on all the weekends, then we'll do lectures on all Saturdays also. I hope everybody is clear with respect to the timing. Okay, so that is the view. If you are from Mumbai, you can join us for a physical lecture also. That is going to be in Andheri. Okay, the timing is same, everything is same. We'll be broadcasting the lecture from there online. Okay, how do you attend the lectures? Once you take admission with us, okay, you will be basically getting the access on our portal where you'll have to attend the live lecture. So I hope everybody is able to see. So there is a live lecture part and I've kept machine learning, something like that. Okay, and basically now this is a backend. This is my backend. So I will be able to start the lecture. So you will see current live session, under which you will see the name of the chapter. Okay, and you will have to, when you click on that, it will be mentioned that okay, it is after 10 minutes the lecture are going to start, after 15 minutes the lecture is going to start. The moment I start this, okay, I launch the lectures, you will also be getting an opportunity to join the lecture. Okay, so that is how you are going to attend the session. Okay, I'm just going to remind the video lectures that you're going to get is bifurcated for each chapter. Okay, plus there will be crash course also, but those crash course you have to do it at the end, not at the start. Okay, so this is what the broader view of the exam is, my approach. And yes, few important things. Yes, fifth Saturday is also working, but I also have to complete the portion, so I cannot do I cannot leave all the Saturdays now. So that's the reason. So one day you'll have to manage. Okay, but all the lectures, all the live sessions that we are going to be doing, all the live lectures will be recorded and it will be made available to you. Okay, the students who are coming to the live batch, students who are coming to the physical batch, they will get the recording of the live lecture also. Okay, yes, on the mobile app also you can join the live batch, live lectures. Vineet, I have answered the query. All good? So you have to do the registration in the month of May. So I'll be taking one more live session on YouTube, which talks about how do you register for the in November exam. I'll be taking a live this YouTube session in the month of May itself. So do subscribe to my channel so that you'll be getting the notification as I come live. Okay. First and third. Now, if you want to prepare with me, what are the things that you have to be very, very clear? Okay, and I'm telling you on the first session of your preparation. Okay, first thing, you have to fix your exam date. Okay, what is that? November. What is that? November. Okay, if anybody is thinking that okay, I will first prepare, then I will then I'll become very confident, then I will pay the 85,000 fees and I will give the exam next year, do not join me, because this is not going to help you. Okay, and I do not operate in that manner. You have to be very clear with your exam so that I can also guide you properly. We can properly attempt the exam and give our best shot. If you're not clear on the exam date, nobody can help you. Okay, that is the first requirement that you have. you need to have your exam date very, very clear, because I am involved in the process with you. Okay. And if I feel that you're not clear about the exam date, I feel that it's a waste of time for me, because I will not be able to guide you properly. Okay. So please do not do that. You have to be very clear the exam are going to be there. Okay. I am answering the query. Where can we access the recorded session? So it's going to be through a software. Okay. That will have to be downloaded through your app and the laptop, and that through that you can use the videos. Okay. If you have already joined, you will be getting the messages of how to do that entire activity. Pawan, do you conduct any surprise test? See, I basically give, when I'm going to give you the question bank, I'll give you the entire thing in one go. Okay, so I'll focus more on understanding of the concepts. The test ideally is expected that the students will keep on doing along with the preparation. Ritu, answering to your query, is online class going to happen using YouTube? No, it is going to be done using our platform. This is our platform, course.fintelligents.com. Okay, so it is going to happen through our platform. Okay, I'm going to move to the next. So fix your exam date. Okay, plan your preparation. Plan your preparation. Okay, so from now, give 1 hour to maximum 2 hours. Okay, that is what ideally your strategy should be. So May, June, 1 hour, 2 hours is okay, even July. But after that, okay, you have to increase. So it should be 2 hours to 3 hours from July onwards, because that is where your momentum is going to be. Okay, this is the second important point that you should be following. Third, okay, see, FRM exam is such an exam where you have to, whatever you are going to read in the book, the same content is not going to come. So don't fall in the trap that I will complete everything fast. I've got the videos, I'll complete everything in two months. Then definitely you're going to fail in the exam. Okay, then don't come and cry in front of me. Okay, don't complete the curriculum fast. It is not going to help you. Okay, because this is not a banking exam. This is not your college exam where whatever you're going to read, the exactly same thing is going to be asked. Okay, it is more about following a proper pattern of preparation. More consistent you are, the better recall you will have in the exam day. Okay, so don't fall for that trap. Next, follow the study planner. You can deviate it slightly, okay, but follow the study planner. The order of the preparation, that will help you to clear the exam in a very easy manner. That has been my experience. I've been teaching in Mumbai for roughly 8 years now. So I've seen the entire plan, I've changed it a lot of times, and I've now come to a structure that this is what ideally you're supposed to follow. Okay, I'll answer the query. Can we start taking chapter wise tests from May 1st? Don't do that. See, why am I asking you to don't solve the question bank immediately? Because see, think logically. If you do a video, you read the chapter and you solve, you will get a good satisfaction. I'm getting high score. But does that mean you're going to clear the exam? No. Okay, the purpose of asking you to solve the question bank slightly late is that by the time you'll forget the chapter, and then you have to read the chapter and see whether you've actually understood it, remembered or not, and then you have to go and solve. That is what I would suggest. The rest is your decision. I cannot force anybody, but my recommendation is very simple. Do not solve the question bank immediately once you have done the chapter. Keep a gap. So when you have completed say around 10-15 chapters, then start the solving of the first chapter that you did. Okay. Ganesh, answering to your query, is it possible to clear both groups in November being a full-time student? Yes, it is possible. But again, you need to have a clear plan. Without that, it is going to be very difficult. If you're working and planning for both the attempts, very difficult. I'm being very practical. It's going to be tough. Okay, for students, it is possible. But you need to have a proper plan, proper approach of going for both the exams. Okay. So I was talking about this fourth point, follow the study plan properly. Okay, do not deviate. Okay, with this section, and update me on your status. So if you're coming to physical lectures, you'll be able to talk to me before or in the lecture. If you're coming online, I might be asking you how many chapters you have done. Give your answer, basically, okay? And because if you're able to give me a proper information, I'll be able to guide you. That is the only thing, okay? Sixth point, this is also if you're working and if you feel that I will complete everything, or basically I do not get much time, I'm only getting 1 hour. I know there's a time crunch, but everybody has a time crunch. You have to manage because it is your career, okay? So that's the reason. Do not feel that, okay, because I have next 1 month, 2 months, I have heavy work hour, I'll do my preparation after that. It never comes. It never comes. The best time to prepare for the exam is now. Simple. So do not fall for that trap that I have 2 months, 3 months heavy work, I'll complete all of that and then I'll do. What is the guarantee that you have something else not coming up? Okay, so don't do that way. So working people, the major challenge that you're going to face is that, am I able to consistently prepare? That is what you should be focusing on. What is my target for this week? I should be focusing only on this target right now. Don't worry about 62 chapter. Don't worry about at the end. Focus only on this week. Okay. I'm answering the queries. So Pawan, do we complete book wise? No, I'll be following my own pattern. Like the Excel sheet that I've given you, almost I'm going to follow the similar pattern. That is not book wise. And I do not expect you to solve the book wise question right now. You have to solve it at the end. Okay. We'll be starting the first chapter tomorrow. We'll be starting it from next week, next Saturday. I have completed 12 chapters. Can I start the question wise or should I wait? See, my suggestion is started from 15th of May. Okay. And don't be very aggressive. Every week, 2-3 chapter is okay. Amit, also we'll be creating a WhatsApp group. We already have a Telegram group for our students. Again, the Telegram group is don't come with the thought process that I have a doubt, I'll ask and I'll go. No, boss, this is not what it is going to be. You have to participate. You have to participate because there are other students also. So I'll be also in that group and I'll see what people are doing. So you have to participate, help each other. And if suppose one chapter is done by you and somebody is asking query, it is expected that you will answer. Reason being, that is how you will check whether you have actually understood the query or not, whether you've actually understood the concept or not. Okay. So it's a community that we have created on WhatsApp for the particular exam. So everybody who's going to prepare for that November exam will be there. Okay. So the interaction has to be very good. I have answered the queries, I hope. So this is what I wanted to talk about. Broadly, I've covered major stuff. If you have any specific query, I'll happy to address. Please put it on the chat section. I can answer the query immediately. Any queries, guys? So next week onwards, we'll be starting with the batch. Okay. And in the people who are coming to the live online batch, people who are coming to the physical batch, there'll be a separate a Telegram channel in which we'll be posting which chapters we are going to be doing. Okay. So you'll have to join those. And if you've already joined our batch, you must have got the message. In that message, there is a link of the Telegram group and Telegram channel. Okay, so group is where you can chat and it's basically for talking to other students and doubts and all. But the Telegram channel is where I'm going to talk and I will be basically helping you with the topics that I'm going to cover in the future sessions. Yes, watch my videos, read the textbook, Kaplan's Treasure book, solve the question bank. That is more than enough for you to clear the exam. Okay, whatever the YouTube, there's a playlist on my channel which basically talks about interviews. So everybody has followed the same thing. The process that I'm telling you, I have made the exam very easy. You just have to follow the process. I'm telling you, just have to follow the process. All good, guys? Okay, it seems there is no further queries. Okay, so in case you plan to join the batch, the number is available. You can reach us on WhatsApp. You can reach us on WhatsApp. Okay, I have my team member Robin, who can also guide you to address your queries. Okay, and let us start with the preparation. Let us clear the exam in November 2024. Okay, have a clear mindset. You're going to pass the exam. You're going to clear the exam. There is no alternative for you. You are going to pass the exam. That is the approach that you are supposed to follow. Okay. Is training material, Swagger material along with the trainings? Will be giving you the PDF file of the Swagger, which you can print if you want, or there are book centers also which provide you. Okay. Rohit, practical application means I don't go and do anything on uh, Python and all, because that is not tested in the exam. Like, see, my focus is very simple. Be like Arjun. Focus on the exam, clear the exam, because that is valued in the industry. I know practical thing is also important, but if you have not cleared FRM, okay, then getting an interview also will be very tough for you. So first clear the exam. Okay, side by side you can start something if you want to do some Python, SQL, Power BI. That is good, no doubt about it. Currently I don't touch that because I'm expertised into helping you to clear the exam. Okay, I've answered the query, Rohit. Perfect. So thank you very much, guys, for joining in. We'll meet on next Saturday, okay, when we start with the chapters. Okay. Thank you very much, guys.